Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Thanks for finding your way here, however you did it. We're doing lots of grassroots outreach. We're doing internet advertising. We're doing lots of stuff to spread the word about what we are up to. And what we are up to is bringing to the table science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical nutrition strategies for the masses. Foundation medical nutrition for the masses, because all chronic diseases are linked in some way, shape, or form to chronic nutrient deficiencies. Nobody knows this. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody needs to know it. Everybody needs to start importing the 90 essential nutrients into their bodies as soon as is humanly possible, to give their bodies a fighting chance just to be able to handle the normal wear and tear and stress of life. There are things that we do automatically without even thinking about it, right? We take showers, we take baths, we use soap, we drink purified water, etc. Well, there's one more thing that we need to do automatically. We need to be supplementing every single solitary day with good recipes of the 90 essential nutrients. When enough people start doing this every day, it's going to pop through the entire culture. We need about 16% of the population to be doing this in order for everybody in the population to be doing this. That's the breakthrough number. That's the breakthrough number, 16% of the population. So, right, years and years ago, nobody had a home computer. Now everybody has a home computer. Years and years ago, nobody had a cell phone. Now everybody has a cell phone. Why? Because they're awesome, and they make your life a million times easier. Well, when you give your body the raw materials that it needs, when you give your body for the first time in your life all of the essential nutrients that it needs to function the way that nature and God intended it to, that's a game changer. That makes a difference, which is noticeable, measurable, and often quite remarkable. It's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, until what I'm talking about on this radio program and what Dr. Wallach has been talking about for over 20 years goes viral. You better get in while the getting's good. Get with the person that invited you here and ask them about longevity. Tell them you want to know about the health opportunity, you want to know about the business opportunity, you want to know what's going on here and how you can join our peaceful, quiet revolution of sophisticated, compassionate, smart human beings taking their own responsibility for their own health into their own hands. Why? Because the MDs have completely let us down. And I mean completely, utterly, and totally. Again, the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, MD-directed medicine. The leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. Why is this? Because the most expensive medicine in the world is the one that does not work. MD-directed medicine does not work for chronic disease. It needs to be abandoned. It does not need to be tweaked, modified, massaged, or repaired. It does not need to be upregulated or downregulated. It needs to be abandoned because it does not work, not for chronic disease. The wheelhouse of the MD is trauma care, surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and a handful of infectious diseases. But if you're suffering with a chronic disease, asthma, high blood pressure, heartburn, type 2 diabetes, whatever, the last person you should bring your suffering, ailing body-mind to is anybody with an MD after their name. This is Metaphysical Thursday, and on Thursdays we talk about things a little bit outside of the box of conventional, pragmatic, down-to-earth medicine. But, really from the proper perspective, the metaphysical stuff that's going on inside the human body, the stuff that is beyond the ken of conventional science to measure, is really everything. Because from the holistic point of view, the human body is inhabited by a spiritual force, Whatever it is that brings light to your eyes, whatever it is that leaves the body at the moment of death, well, it is this spiritual vital force which is keeping the whole kit and caboodle together. And I'm going to read to you more selections today from Lectures on Homeopathic Philosophy by James Tyler Kent. Lectures on Homeopathic Philosophy by James Tyler Kent. This book is over 30 years old. It's like my Bible. I read from it regularly because really there are very few people in the world who understand this concept. There are even fewer who are practicing actively this concept with active patients inside of a doctor-patient relationship, right? So it's good to remind ourselves every once in a while that there are more people than just good old Dr. Glidden who understand this and who are talking about it. So let's see what James Tyler Kent, one of the leading proponents of homeopathic medicine in the 1800s and the early 1900s, has to say about the vital force. From the Organon of Medicine, which is Dr. Samuel Hahnemann's textbook, classic textbook on homeopathic medicine. In paragraph 10, Hahnemann says, the material organism, the human body, without the vital force, is capable of no sensation, no function, no self-preservation. It derives all sensation and performs all the functions of life solely by means of the immaterial vital force, which animates the material organism in health and in disease. Okay, you get that? So from the homeopathic point of view, from my point of view, from most holistic medical physicians' point of views, the unseen spiritual vital force which inhabits the human body is running the show. And it is the vital force which is responsible for everything that you see, touch, taste, hear, and feel. All of the sensations in your body are present only because of the presence of the vital force inside the human body. Hahnemann goes on to say in chapter 11, paragraph 11, when a person falls ill, it is only this spiritual, self-acting vital force everywhere present in the organism that is primarily deranged by the influence upon it of some morbific agent inimical to life. I love the way these guys used to talk, right? A morbific agent inimical to life. It is only the vital force deranged to such an abnormal state that can furnish the organism with its disagreeable sensations and incline it to the irregular processes which we call disease. For, as a power invisible in itself and only cognizable by the effects on the organism, its morbid derangement only makes itself known by the manifestations of disease in the sensations and functions of those parts of the organism exposed to the senses of the observer and the physician. This is by morbid symptoms. And in no other way can it make itself known. This is a very important point from holistic medical point of view. So number one, the human body is inhabited by a spiritual vital force which runs the show. And it is the presence of this spiritual vital force inside the human body, call it the soul, call it the spirit, call it the, whatever you want, that is responsible for everything that you see, touch, taste, sense, and feel, everything. All of the sensations in the body are present because of the presence of the vital force in the human body. Now, when your body-mind experiences a stress, which is too great for it to handle, the stress impacts the body-mind, it destabilizes the body-mind, and the vital force inside the body-mind is upset and unbalanced. And when the vital force is upset and unbalanced, it generates symptoms, right? So an active symptom like heartburn or a headache, a pain in the left temple, or pain in the right elbow joint, or restless legs at night in bed, or an inability to concentrate, right, or difficulty inhaling, asthma. All a symptom from the holistic point of view is a de facto expression of the nature of the disease process because it is an example and it is being expressed actively by the vital force. Now, this gets a little interesting, right? Because from the holistic point of view, when the human body is stressed by some external factor, maybe it's a fight with your husband or a fight with your wife, or you just won the lottery, or you just, went bankrupt, or you're getting married, or you're getting divorced, or you're having a child, or you just got a new job, or you just got fired, or you're in an automobile accident, or somebody's shooting at you in Iraq, or you're breathing in some noxious carbon monoxide, or you're exposed to the Ebola virus or the influenza virus or a staphylococcal bacteria, right? A stress to the human body comes in many shapes, colors, and forms. And if the stress is too much for the system to be able to handle, the stress impacts the body, destabilizes the body, and the body generates a symptom. And now the MD marches into this arena and generates a medicine, gives you a medicine which suppresses the symptom. Now what's going to happen? After a fashion, the body's going to fall further off balance and develop another symptom. And this is why you need to constantly re-up your medication. This is why the MDs need to add medications into the mix. Because when you simply suppress the symptom, you are doing nothing to reestablish structural integrity in the body, to reestablish energetic integrity in the body. You're doing nothing to heal the disease process. Zero. But when the sophisticated, intelligent physician pays attention to the symptoms of the body, they are given clues as to what to do to support the body's ability to reestablish balance. And when the body reestablishes balance, the symptoms disappear, and the person is brought back into a state of homeostasis and balance and equipoise, and this is the very definition of health. So, the presence of the vital force in the human body runs the show, and when the show is upset, the vital force generates symptoms, and the smart physician pays attention to the details of the symptoms in determining how to help the patient recover their health. More on this when we come back. It's a relatively important point to ponder. And understand, I am Dr. Peter Glidden. Check out the live video stream, the drgliddenshow.tv, and join the chat. Stick around. All right, so welcome aboard. So, this is an important point to ponder, right? The presence of the symptom in the human body to the holistic physician is everything. So, if you were to go to a holistic physician and you had a headache, well, if you were to go to a medical doctor, an MD, and you have a headache, you'd spend 2 minutes with a doctor. You'd say, "Oh, doc, I have a headache." The rest of the time would be spent with the nurse. The nurse would take your temperature and your blood pressure and measure your weight and measure your height, and then they'd note that all down in your chart. And then the doctor, after hearing your, 60-second dissertation on your symptoms, would order all of this objective diagnostic discovery, right, that he or she felt was necessary. Urinalysis, stool analysis, blood work, X-ray, CT scan, MRI, whatever. And in the United States, if it's after the 15th of the month, they will order more than is necessary in order to meet their quota, because if they are referring patients to hospitals, there's a quota of laboratory diagnostic stuff that they have to order every month. There's a quota for patients that have to be admitted to the hospital every month. There's a quota for surgical procedures that have to be done every month. The worst time to visit an MD with a chronic health condition is after the 15th of the month in the United States. But that's a separate side issue, okay? So the doctor orders, the MD orders all of this diagnostic discovery, the intention of which is to objectively understand what's happening to you. They don't give a hoot about your subjective symptoms. They do not care one whit. And so all of the blood work comes back normal, the x-rays come back normal, the ultrasounds come back normal, everything comes back normal, and yet you still have active symptoms. So as far as the doctor's concerned, there's really nothing wrong with you. That's just life, or you're a psycho case and really you're just imagining it, you're not really sick. So let's give you some anti-inflammatories or let's give you some pain medication, and then they dismiss it like that. Now remember, the pain medication here, or the anti-inflammatory medication, is not intended to fix the disease. That medication is only intended to suppress the symptom. right? So your body's been attacked by a stress that it can't handle. The body has become destabilized. The body generated a symptom, in this case, which is a headache, and now the MD delivers a pain medication to suppress the pain. Now, does that fix the problem? No, it doesn't fix the problem. It simply suppresses the symptom. It's like snipping the wires on the check engine light on the dashboard, right? Or, you're on the Starship Enterprise and the warning lights start to flash. Well, you flip the switch on the computer that turns them off. That's not a good idea. But that's what the MDs do. So now you're frustrated with this, and so now you go to a holistic physician. Now, if you're going to go to a holistic physician and you have a headache, here's how the conversation would go. It would take about an hour and a half. The doctor would ask you, well, you have a headache? Well, what part of your head is it in? Is it in your right eye, your left eye, your temple, your back of your head, the top of your head? What part of your head is it in? What does it feel like? Does it feel like your head is exploding? Does it feel like someone's hammering a nail into your head? Does it feel like someone's tightening your head between a vice? Does it feel like somebody's stabbing you in the brain with a sharp ice pick? What does the pain feel like? Describe in detail the pain. When does the pain happen? Does it happen all the time? Does it only happen in the morning? Does it only happen in the middle of the night? Does it only happen after you eat? Does it only happen when you're anxious or stressed out about something? When does it happen? Where does the pain go? Does it stay in one place or does it travel to other parts of your body? Starts in your right eye and ends up in your left shoulder. Where does the pain go, or does it stay in one place? What makes the pain better? What makes the pain worse? Does lying down in a dark room with your eyes closed make the pain better? Does light make the pain worse? Do odors or sound make the pain better or worse? Does motion make the pain better or worse? What makes the pain better or worse? Are there any other symptoms that come along with the headache? Like every time you get a headache, you're nauseous, or every time you have a headache, you have diarrhea, or every time you have a headache, you spontaneously want to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. What other symptoms, if any, come along for the ride? And more detail is sought after by the inquiring mind of the holistic physician, because to the holistic physician, the subjective experience, the subjective presentation of your symptoms is the language of the vital force. And when we pay attention to the language of the vital force, we are given therapeutic information about how to help the body fix itself. Of course, the MD, being an old-fashioned reductionist, practicing, Jurassic Park medicine, wants nothing to do with this. They're only interested in, cadaver dissection and nonsense. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the live video stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. Now, if you're listening to this station, to me on a terrestrial radio station, and you're interested in the information that I'm talking about, then listen to the commercial break and call the number that you hear on the commercial break, because we have local longevity representatives on the other end of that phone line waiting to answer all of your questions. How can you become affiliated with longevity? How can you get the longevity nutritional supplements? How can you become a longevity business owner? How can you become a longevity associate? We have representatives on the other end of the phone line waiting to answer those questions. If you found me on your own through the Internet and you want answers to these questions, please call this number, 855-347-3696. And if somebody invited you to this radio program, an already existing longevity representative invited you to this program, then get with them to get your questions answered about how you can affiliate yourself with us and become a member of Longevity Nation, which arguably will be one of the smartest things you have ever done in your life. Now, I just want to finish up this one thought, and then we're going to go to the phones. Hazel Rose is in Kansas. I'm going to pull her up in a second. After her, we're going to go to Lonnie in West Virginia. Clinton from Minneapolis is up. Richard from Texas. Patricia from California. Okay, so we've got a lot of questions to answer. The phone lines always ring off the hook on this show. So when you have an active symptom, the holistic physician pays extreme attention, like a detective at a crime scene, to the discrete ways in which the symptoms, the subjective symptoms, show up. Because the subjective symptoms, how you feel about your illness, the way that your symptoms, the manner in which your symptoms are expressing themselves, make all of the difference to the sophisticated holistic physician. The MD doesn't give a hoot about your subjective symptoms. The MD is only interested in their objective findings. Blood work, lab work, urinalysis, right? And oftentimes you're in a world of hurt, and all of the diagnostic discovery comes back normal. Well, what's up with that? Well, what's up with that is that your MD is looking at this through the wrong lens. Your MD is like a colorblind art critic who doesn't know that they're colorblind. They're going to do a lousy job. But because they're surrounded by colorblind art critics, all who, sing the same song, they're never going to think it's their fault that you're sick and suffering. Can't be the doctor's fault. It's got to be your fault, right? You've got the headache gene. That's what you've got. Baloney. So, when we pay attention as holistic physicians to the manifestations, the details of the manifestations of your active subjective symptoms, we are given clues as to what to do to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself, okay? So, acupuncturists do this. You want to have a really fascinating experience, visit a traditional Chinese medical doctor. Visit a traditional Chinese doctor and just go in for a diagnosis. The language that they use, the diagnostic stuff that they do will blow your mind, and it will really open windows in your mind as to what your MD is not doing. Same thing with a homeopathic interview. You sit with a homeopath for an hour and a half and your head will explode because you never spent that much time with a doctor before, number one. And number two, in 30 minutes, the homeopath knows more about the details of your symptoms than any physician or any nurse ever has in your entire life. Because this is what we do. This is how we address illness in a clinical setting with private patients. Now, in the context of this radio program, we're interested in giving to your body foundation, boilerplate, nutritional support. Because the idea here is that the vital force inside the body has intelligence. And the vital force is attempting all of the time to maintain homeostasis in the body, to optimize its structure and function, and to just be cool, baby. Just be cool. Your vital force is trying to do that all of the time, but it needs raw materials to do that. So it is entirely prudent, wise, and effective to deliver to everybody's body, regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of anything, the 90 essential nutrients necessary for health. And a majority of the time, when you simply give your body the raw materials that it needs to function the way that nature intended it to, and you stop eating food that's gumming up the works, that is all that's necessary to bring your body back into a state of balance, because the body is attempting to maintain its balance all of the time. It's the first, second, and third things to do, by the way. Now, once your body has been nutrified for 6 months, you stopped eating the 10 bad foods, you're taking the appropriate healthy pack generated by longevity, and you've been doing a good job for 6 months. If after 6 months you still have active symptoms, you get a migraine headache before your menstrual cycle, you're still bothered by nightmares 4 times a week, or low-grade anxiety and panic attacks, or that nagging little pain in your elbow just won't go away, or whatever, at that point in time, after you've been nutrified for 6 months, it's recommended that you entertain the services of a private holistic physician. And as God is my witness, if you bring a nutrified body a mineralized body to the office of an acupuncturist or a homeopathic physician or an Ayurvedic medical practitioner or an herbalist or a naturopath or a chiropractor, the therapeutics that they are trained in, that they will deliver unto your body, are much more effective because your body has all of the nutrients it needs to fix itself. But when you bring an undernutrified, wiped out body to the office of a holistic medical practitioner, you're going to get piss poor results. Because the vital force is weak. The vital force is flagged out. The body is undernutrified. You know, it's like trying to jumpstart a car, but there's no gas in the tank. That's not going to work. I don't care how much voltage you give the battery, the car ain't going to start if there's no gas in the tank. You got to put gas in the tank. And then you jumpstart the battery. Good, you're good to go. That's what this is like. And this is the relationship between medical nutrition and alternative therapeutics. I don't like to say alternative. This is the relationship between medical nutrition and holistic therapeutics. They go hand in hand. But often, just providing your body the 90 essential nutrients and stop eating the 10 bad foods is all that you need to do in order to jumpstart your body and push your body back into a state of balance. Because remember, your body is attempting to do that all of the time, but it needs raw materials to do that. Now, if you have an active symptom, your body has been stressed and destabilized and now it's symptomatic, and you suppress the symptom, you're going to weaken the body. And you're going to make it more difficult for a holistic therapeutic to kickstart your system, because every time you take that drug, your body gets a little bit weaker. Your body gets a little bit weaker. Your body gets a little bit weaker. And remember, we're not against drugs. For goodness sake, thank God for Novocaine. Thank God for penicillin. Thank God for morphine. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. You can use drugs holistically. Did you know that? Many people don't know that, and very few people do that, but you can. But the MDs never use the drug holistically, because to the MD, holistic philosophy is a fiction. It's nonsense. It's, ridiculous. And this is why you must, under all circumstances, as quickly as possible, fire your flippin' MD. Because the therapeutics that they are trained in are old-fashioned, outdated, and completely out of sync with what the reality of the human body is. Again, if you hire a colorblind artist to paint a family portrait, you are going to be disappointed. And that's what the MDs are. They're like colorblind artists, but they have no idea that they're colorblind. And so all of their portraits are messed up. Leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. While we've given the MDs control of the medical theater, autism has risen from 1 out of 10,000 births to 1 out of 89. Alzheimer's has risen from obscurity to become the 6th leading cause of death. Heart disease remains the 2nd leading cause of death. Cancer remains the 3rd leading cause of death. There has been no traction in these chronic conditions. Arthritis is on the rise. Don't even get me started on obesity. While we have given our health to the care of the MDs, we're getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and nobody is talking about it, except me and Dr. Wallach. Again, the medical system doesn't need to be tweaked. We don't need more mandatory insurance to gain access to MD-directed medicine. That's what we need. We need more citizens to go to the MD. No, it's absolutely the opposite. We need more people to understand the intimate relationship between health and nutrition. The intimate relationship between health and nutrition, but people do not. And so, my people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. It's that simple. Now look, you stick around with us long enough, you're going to hear testimonials that'll make your head explode. No kidding. Your body's ability to fix itself is so much greater than you have been led to believe that it is a jaw-dropping, eye-opening, awesome experience to finally walk planet Earth in a body that's completely nutrified and to get smart enough to know which foods are good for you and which foods are bad for you. You stop eating the 10 bad foods and you nutrify your body, it is a completely different ballgame. A completely different ballgame. And this is our challenge to you. You know, I don't even care if you know how to spell vitamin. It doesn't matter if you are able to, intellectually follow what I'm talking about. But I do want you to trust me. Trust me enough to give it a try, because ultimately the proof of the pudding's in the eating. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free on my website. Just stop eating these 10 foods. No bitching, no moaning, no crying, no complaining. Just stop eating these 10 bad foods, period. And take one appropriate healthy start pack. The Healthy Body Pack, the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, the Healthy Digestion Pack, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, whichever one is appropriate for you. Do one healthy pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Do that for 90 days. And let the proof of the pudding lead you further. And welcome to the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. I am the red pill. Pop out of the matrix right now. Join the live stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. That's where you need to be. Stick around. Never want to stop Carlos. I just never do. I talk too much. Somebody said I talk too much. I think that was me that said I talk too much. Let's stop talking now and go to Hazel Rose in Kansas. Hey, Hazel. Hazel Rose, thanks for listening. You are live. Hazel Rose. Hazel Rose sat on attack. Hazel Rose. Come in, Hazel Rose. Are you with me? All right, Hazel, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to go to Lonnie in West Virginia. Hey, Lonnie, thanks for calling. You are live. Lonnie. Come in, Lonnie. Oh, maybe we're having board problems in the old studio. I'm not sure. Next on the list is Clinton in Minneapolis. Hey, Clinton, how about you? Are you there? Clinton in Minneapolis, come on in. Hello, Clinton. Come on in, Clinton. Come on in, Clinton. Okay, no Clinton either. Well, that's 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. That's never good. Third strike, you are out. How about Richard in Texas? Hey, Richard in Texas, you are live. Richard in Texas, come on in. Richard in Texas, come on in. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, we are having trouble. Hey, there we are. Who am I talking to?
Richard.
All right, Richard. Finally, we got somebody live and in person. Hey, man, thanks for waiting. What's happening down there in Texas?
Well, everything's beautiful.
Well, all right, first things first. What's your horse's name? Doesn't everybody in Texas own a horse? Come on.
No.
Don't you have spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle? Come on, man.
No, sir.
Hey, what part of Texas are you in, man?
I'm down on the coast by Louisiana. Right next door to Louisiana. I'm in that east corner.
Oh yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah.
So we're not far from the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh yeah, well great. Are you like kind of northeast of Galveston?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, it's so hot down there. It's not hell, but you can see hell from your
heard
house,
that.
probably, right? So what's happening, man? How can I help? Thanks for the call.
Well, what it is, I've been on the product since May.
Great.
And it started. I started off. I was taking I'm taking the tangy tangerine and the OsteoFX FX and the and I was taking the glucogel and the EFA plus. I was taking those. I was taking just 2 and 1 to start with, and I was and the other I was just taking 2 spoonsful, and I was having problems with arthritis in my hands and my knee joints were hurting. Well, they cleared, so I called Wendy, and she told me to increase the glucogel to 3 and the FX to 2. What happened? That's 3 times a day.
Yeah, what happened?
And I increased the 2 powders. I increased them to 3 scoops a day. And after about 4 days, it cleared up. And then all of a sudden it's come back.
Oh, okay. Well, I know what happened. All right.
And so what I did, I got off of bread, and I don't eat any kind of pasta or any of that kind of stuff. And so my weight's I'm 270.
Yep.
And I'm 70 years old.
Yep.
And so
have you lost any weight
all of a sudden,
while you've been doing this?
Since May.
How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 10 pounds.
All right. So, look, we're up against the hard break. It's the top of the hour. Stick with me. I'll pull you back at 6 after the hour, and I'll tell you exactly why the symptoms went away and why they came back. So glad that you called. I'm going to dial this in for you, Richard. I appreciate your trust and your support. Stick around, brother. I'll pull you up at 6 after the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Check out the live video stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. We're back with the second hour after these messages.